What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me for a new video today. I'm doing what could spin off into a new series. I'm thinking maybe it'll be like an every other week series where I try to redesign some of your t-shirt designs. So I started a thread in my Amazon merch Facebook group. I'll put a link to it in the description. And I basically said, hey, anybody want me to take a look at your designs and see if I can attempt to do them better? I'm not going to say that I did them better because that's definitely subjective. But I got a couple responses and I said, hey, let's just run with this and see what happens. So if you guys want to see how I would redesign some user submitted designs, then stay tuned. Let's get started. Real quick, I just wanted to remind you guys, I run a weekly print-on-demand giveaway. This week, it is sponsored by Flying Upload, print-on-demand upload automation, AutomatePOD, print-on-demand design automation, and All American Graphics. So if you guys want to check that out, use the link in the description. It's completely free to enter, and 2 lucky winners will split over $1,000 in prizes. Thank you to the sponsors. Also in the description, I wrote a 7-day mini course delivered via email if you guys want to check that out. It is very thorough. It'll surprise you. And I've got an Amazon merch Facebook community. If you guys want to join, love to have you. Again, that's where the thread is. So I'll also put a link to the thread in this group. You'll have to apply to the group and I'll let you in. And then if you want me to review your designs, just let me know. Just drop a link to it on Amazon. All right, so here is the first design. This one says, sorry, I missed your call. I was on my other line, and it's a fishing shirt. Now, I really like this idea just in general as a shirt template where you've got kind of the icons for a cell phone. And I'm sure there's got to be some other like niche designs that you can tailor to being cell phone related. At a minimum, like the stuff at the top, right? Maybe it doesn't have to be the call icons. You see how it's like the red decline button, the green accept button. So what I ended up doing is when I tried to make a better version of this design, I ended up just saving it as a template in case I want to come back and use it in other ways. You know, sometimes too, I'll just have an idea pop up in my head while I'm in the gym or something. So I'll write that down and then come back to it later. So I think there's a lot of potential here in just making more designs using this templated approach of the cell phone style. Anyways, first things first, this design has 16 reviews, 4.5 star average review. So even though I attempted to make it better, I don't even know if my design is going to come anywhere close to the level of success you have achieved. So got to tip my hat to you and say, well done there. One thing that I also maybe would do is like, you've offered it in a lot of different colors behind me. You've offered it in 10 different colors. And, you know, I don't know that you need to offer it in 10 different colors. I didn't look that hard at all 10 of them, but I know that like black is probably the best looking color that this shirt's going to be available on. The red color, for instance, like with the red button, it probably doesn't even look good. So you maybe don't need to offer that many choices. Too much choice can sometimes be a bad thing. But anyways, this is what I came up with, and I will walk you through how I got here. Now, I'm not going to design on videos. I've done that in the past, and sometimes I'll do it again in the future, but it's hard for me to really feel like I'm making a good video when I'm designing because it's kind of slow. You know, I do try to work quickly, but like I still can't, I don't know. It just didn't work. So I made the design. I'll talk you through how I got here, and I'll show you the designs side by side. But immediately what you can see is that in my design, you guys already know I preached that I really believe in the idea that bigger is better. So I tried to make like the graphic in the middle really big. Not that theirs isn't big, but it's kind of more busy. And I kind of ended on or settled on a large centered graphic. And then you can see I matched the text color scheme to the colors from the graphic. So I think that kind of flows really nicely, and it's not, hopefully you don't think it's too many colors. Like I do notice that the buttons here, the green and red call buttons are, you know, making it kind of busy in that there's 5 different colors that I used in the shirt. You'll notice that I blew up the size. Actually, no, I think I walked through it here. Yeah. So if you're wondering what font family I used, by the way, I used Edmund Texture. This is one of my favorite fonts for designing because it comes distressed already. So it's very easy to use, and it's bold, and it is tall. So, I mean, it's all the attributes that I really like in a font. If you guys want to use Edmund Texture, I have a link to it in the description on Creative Fabrica. Don't quote me, but the last time I checked, it was like $1 and change to purchase that font. So pretty good deal. That's like less than one sale. You know what I mean? That's like if you make a sale on Amazon merch, it's paid for immediately, and then you got some profit left over still. So I do recommend Edmund texture. So you can see here, bigger, better was the thought process that I went through, while I was doing this design. I also mixed it up a bit, as you saw, like with the color scheme, whereas the design on the left side, and I cut off the top part of it, but it was basically a white design with the green and red buttons as the exception. And I went a little bit more out of the box. I also looked at Amazon merch, or I looked at Amazon, used the search merch tool, looked at other merch listings. A lot of the designs were black and white. So I thought, you know what, if I throw in some extra color, maybe I'll differentiate myself a bit. So anyways, if you want to go back and just look at the side-by-side one last time here, that's how I did. So I'm not saying that mine's better. Like I said, you're crushing with all those reviews. That means you got a lot of sales. Obviously, the customers love it. So really good job there. I'm glad that the first person to comment on my thread had a design that I don't even know if I made it any better because theirs is so good. But all right, design number 2. This one says best Frenchy dad ever. It's got that nice distressed look and feel, and it's using the sunset approach to the graphic, which, I mean, we know that those vintage sunsets sell extremely well. Now, I don't know if this one has made any sales yet because it doesn't have any reviews. I didn't actually scroll down and see if it had a BSR. But I do like this design as well. Nothing immediately stands out as like, oh, fix this, change that. The one thing that I would say is the font is very small. So if I search those keywords and I'm looking at all the other options in search results, when you're in the search result page and there's 48 options, remember your thumbnails are rendered even smaller than they are on the product page, which is what someone sees after they click your product in the search results. So if we're thinking about this in the order that it happens, they have to search, then click you, then get to the product page. So if you're not optimizing for getting clicked in search results, when you're only one of 48 products, you're going to struggle to get as many sales as you would if you're optimizing for those clicks. So that's the one thing that I'd say is the only thing that stands out. So this is what I ended up doing in Photoshop. I looked at the competition, and there was actually a lot of similar designs to this one. A lot of the sunset designs, surprisingly, we all know that the sunset stuff sells really well. And by the way, let me shout out real quick. I didn't plan this, but All Sunsets, you know, that graphic website that I joined, I think it's like 20, I don't remember right now. They're increasing their price at the end of this week or in like a week and a half or something. So if you want to join All Sunsets, it's like $20, I think, for a year, right? So you pay $20 now, you get access for a year. If you want these sunset graphics, you can either make them yourself or just do the one-time fee and download them from All Sunsets. That's what I do. So for instance, the sunset that you see there in the background of my design is from All Sunsets. So instead of having to design it, I just drag and drop it in. As you can see, I matched the color scheme of my text to the sunset. So I have the yellow, orange, red on the best Frenchy dad text. I matched to the yellow, orange, and red from that sunset. And then since I put ever at the bottom and I made it big and bold, I then matched it to the blue at the bottom of the design. I'm not completely in love with my design. Like the graphic of the dog in the middle, to me, is not the best one ever, but I also don't really spend time creating custom graphics. I just go to a couple various websites that I use to find them and use them in my designs. So, it could be better, but this didn't take me too long to make. And when we do the side-by-side, I'm not even that confident that mine's better. I think both designs are great. The one thing that I do like to do when I'm doing my designs as well, let me just throw this in there, is I like to use as much of the canvas real estate as possible. I like to get as close to the top and bottom of the canvas and the left and right side of the canvas as possible. This also really helps me when I upload to Redbubble, because when I'm using my Redbubble upload template, it's expecting the designs to be relatively full size. So also that's why I like to, and when the design looks fuller, in my mind at least, you're increasing the likelihood of getting clicked in search results because it just feels like a subliminal like value proposition. It's a bigger design, and when we're selling t-shirts online, I really think that bigger is better. All right, you remember in top 5 niches of the week yesterday, today's Monday, right? Yeah. Yesterday, I mentioned in one of my bonus shirts, this shirt specifically, and I said, sometimes it's okay to select only one color for a shirt and design for that one color. And this product that somebody had dropped on the merch t-shirt review thread it reminded me of, because they're both that vintage distressed look, it reminded me of this shirt from yesterday in my bonus t-shirts from Top 5 Niches of the Week, where I talked about select the heather gray and make your color choices based on that one color selection. So I went ahead and I did something very similar. This is what I was referring to when I was talking about the Kamala shirt on the heather gray shirt. So you see it says best Frenchie dad ever. The text stays the same. The graphic has been removed. You could still implement a graphic if you wanted to. For me, I was just doing this as proof of concept so that I could follow up on what I was talking about yesterday for anybody that was wondering. And, you know, I like the way this looks. I wouldn't sell this though on any other colored shirt. As you can see here, even for the background in Photoshop, I went into Amazon merch, grabbed a picture of the heather gray so I had the exact match, and used that as the background so that I could make a good color selection and whatnot. So that's a side-by-side of the second variant of the shirt that I made. And there it is on the t-shirts. All right, one more design. So Tokyo 2021, somebody made this, I think, because of the Tokyo 2021 Olympics. And if I can improve upon this design, I think I can. Also, I just want to make sure that anybody who goes after anything related to Tokyo 2021 Olympics is extremely careful not to infringe on anything related to the actual Olympics, including the word Olympic. Don't include that in your listing, all right? So this is what I came up with. It's a little crazy. I don't sell too many products like this. I do not do the gradients very often. The story behind this is where I got that graphic from with the basketball and the shield. It came, well, there were a couple variations of it, but it came with a gradient on this variation that I chose ultimately. So then I used in Photoshop a gradient overlay on the text. As you can see, as usual, big bold text. I used Edmund texture again. If you guys want to check that font out, there's a link in the description. It's like $1. And I matched the gradient to the color scheme on the basketball shield. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I didn't spend a lot of time on this one. I kept it short and sweet. I didn't think it needed to be overly complicated. I'm sure you could take this a completely different angle and implement more of the Tokyo country-esque, maybe the Tokyo, the flag, the national flag and whatnot. I decided not to go that route. I decided to do something a little bit different. And I like how the shirt came out. I have no clue if it's anything that someone will want to buy or not, but I just had some fun with it. I didn't want to go the route of like doing the, I don't know what to call that. Can I call that an Asian font without offending anybody? Like you see the font on the left side, it does have a little bit of like an Asian feel. I didn't want to go that route and try to like make a font selection and whatnot. I like when you go down those rabbit holes, that's how you spend an hour on one design. So I have the Edmund texture font. If I just want to get some designs knocked out, I just go straight to that and I don't think twice. So that's really what I did with that design. So here you go, side by side. All right, and that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Quick reminder, I have a full Amazon merch course showing you how I went from tier 10 to tier 100,000. I have sold over $300,000 on Amazon merch. If you'd like to learn my exact methods, check out the link in the description. If you have any questions, there's also the top link in the description. You can jump on a call. We'll answer your questions. All right. Thank you guys for watching till the end. Do me a quick favor, like, subscribe if you're one of the 50% of people that aren't subscribed, and I'll see you soon.